During early spring, my dad approached me and said he wanted to give me a gift for good luck. He pulls out a white cloth from his pocket and slowly unravels a gold nugget. Or at least that's what I thought it was until he handed it to me. It was a gold pendant of a large woman-shaped figure with large breasts, though it wasn't super detailed or extravagant. My father told me that I must keep it in my pocket or wear it around my neck for good luck. He told me to keep it close at all times, so that's what I started doing. I had that pendant on me at all times and everything was going great. Soon it was time for me to go to basic training. I had enlisted in the Iowa Army National Guard for OSUT training out of Fort Leonard Wood as a combat engineer. The thing is, I couldn't take many belongings with me, so I left my pendant wrapped in cloth on a shelf in my room. I went through OSUT in late June, finished my training and returned home in November. By this time I had forgotten about the pendant and was focusing on friends, family and my new job. Everything was going fine until December. One night I had a very vivid dream. I was at one of our town's parks. The sun was out. I could feel the warmth on my skin, the slight breeze in the air. My niece, de 6, was playing in the sandpit building a castle, while I sat on the bench smiling and enjoying my time with her. In the distance, I saw a woman sitting on a bench on the other side of the park. I couldn't tell if I recognized her or not. All I could see was that she had long black hair, very light skin, slender with a long white dress. I looked back down at my niece as she looked up and smiled at me. My dream ended. I was woken up by my alarm to get ready for work. Over the course of the next 5 nights, I went to bed, but something was off. I kept having the same dream, exactly as it was the previous night. No change until the 3rd night. On the 3rd night, the woman with long black hair, slender figure, pale skin and white dress was standing in the distance in front of the bench. By the 4th night, she was closer, still a little too far for me to identify her features or recognize who she was. By the 5th night, my dream felt cold. The skies were covered in dark clouds, the wind blowing violently, and my niece was gone. The only thing that remained was the woman with long black hair and a white dress. This time she was close enough I could see her face, but she was hiding it. Lowering her head, I asked her who she was. No response. She reached out her right arm and looked up. I was frightened. She had no eyes, no nose, no lips or eyebrows. Nothing, just a pale, almost white face. I woke up, my heart pounding. The next couple weeks, I would see this woman in my dreams appearing randomly. It started to freak me out to the point I started telling my best friend and cousin about it. We joked and laughed about it, them saying, "Don't bring that bad juju to my house." Joke is on my cousin. I planned a day to go visit her with my best friend. It was something I needed, family time, playing games, meeting my new nephew and treating my niece like the princess she is. Towards the end of the night, my niece asked me to tuck her into bed before I left. I told her to run upstairs, and I'll be up in a second. After finishing cleaning up from the card games, I turned to go upstairs. I look up in the dark stairway and see her, the woman with long black hair and a white dress. My heart is pounding. I fear for my niece's safety. I turn on the light and she is gone. I quickly run up the stairs and go to my niece's room and check on her. Everything seemed fine, so I tucked her in and said goodnight. As I come down the stairs, I tell my cousin and friend that I just saw her, the woman with long black hair and a white dress. She has never shown herself outside my dream. I was freaked out. They were freaked out. We decided it was time for me to go home. I entered my car, turned it on and buckled my seatbelt. Then I felt it, a slap on my left shoulder. I look in the rearview mirror and see her, the faceless woman with long black hair and a white dress. I turn around and she's gone, but the feeling of her hand on my shoulder was still there. I called my cousin and spoke to her about it on my drive home. I couldn't sleep that night. Then one night, a couple weeks later, I had another vivid dream, but this dream didn't feel like a dream. I'm not sure how to describe it. In this dream, I was in bed, but something was off. I go outside and then it clicked. There was no sound, everything was still. The houses were there, the stop signs, fences, etc. But there was no sound, no birds chirping, no cars running, just dead silent. I started walking and walking until I finally heard whispering. There was this small white house with a light on. I could see through the door. As I approached the door, I could tell that's where the whispers are coming from. I open the door and see stairs leading down to a basement. I decided to follow the stairs down, whispers becoming louder until I reached a door. As I open the door, looking down at the handle, stepping through, I look up and freeze. There are dozens of people in this room, all looking at me with a white, faceless mask on. I panic and turn around. The door is gone. I turn back around and suddenly am in a cage surrounded by them reaching for me. I'm backed up against the wall, heart pounding. Then they all stop and just stand there, looking at me when the door to the cage slowly creaks open. There she was, the woman with long black hair and a white dress, wearing a mask with no face. She pins me against the wall by my throat. I can't breathe. She leaning in and with one hand slowly brings up her mask, making a terrifying growling sound. As her mask is about to be fully lifted, I wake up in a panic. My heart is beating so fast I run to the bathroom and see it. I have bruises on my neck, scratches all across my chest and back. This isn't me going crazy, this is real. At this point, I can no longer get a good night's sleep. I still felt her hand holding me on my left shoulder. I started to get used to it. Over the course of the next month, I will only sleep 2-3 hours a night, breaking me down mentally and physically. I grew desperate and turned to my dad. I told him everything. He wasn't on my side, though. He accused me of being on drugs. I felt defeated. I thought I was going to die and no one would take me seriously until my cousin reached out and told me to go see this guy. I went to him. I didn't tell him everything in detail, just that I was being haunted by a spirit and see if he could help. He began questioning me, asking me if someone had died recently or if anyone had given me something. Then it clicked. The pendant my father gave me, I had forgotten about it, still sitting on my shelf. He told me to bring it to him there next day. The next day I came to his place. He had a bunch of Buddhist items set out and I handed him the pendant. Immediately his eyes got big and said, "She's holding onto your shoulder, a woman with long black hair and a white dress." He goes into action and wraps the pendant in cloth written with spells. He gave me a blessing to ward off evil spirits. Fast forward a week. I no longer see it in my dreams and no longer see it outside of my dreams. Her presence gone. The man sent the pendant back to Laos and they essentially exorcised it. He told me the pendant was binded by a spirit of a woman through black magic, by rubbing oil from her dead body into the pendant. When I left the pendant and ignored it, the spirit became angry and wanted to consume me. That man later spoke to my father. It turns out my dad had also been seeing her and she was interfering with his marriage. He gave me the pendant because I was single and hoped it would bring me good luck. But all it brought me was a spirit of a faceless woman.